And good afternoon, everybody. We're live today for a very special episode. We all know that vacations to theme parks like Disney, Universal, Branson is expensive. And yet, even on a tight budget, we can make it work. So, what are some tips and tricks that I use and things that we have done to save money? Well, I got some advice to help you make those vacations a little bit more affordable. So I hope you are all having a great day today. Normally, of course, I've got my episodes pre recorded and edited and ready to go for you, but it has been a crazy week. We got a new computer finally, upgraded the 7-year old thing, and so it's been a lot of work getting it all set up, and it just kind of ate up all my editing time. So we're live today, but the goal is still the same. For today, we want to save you money. When I worked at Walt Disney World, we were told the average family saved 5 to 6 years for a vacation there. That's a lot of time to save, and it's not any shorter now. Universal is expensive. People come to Branson and spend a ton of money. Even just going down to your local amusement park, Six Flags or Cedar Fair, can be expensive. So, what can you do to save some money, make it more affordable, and get the most out of your trip? Well, over all the years of visiting theme parks, we've learned a number of things and we've figured out ways to make that as affordable as possible. And so that's what we're looking to do for you. And yes, you can see my cat popping up there. At least she's not here, hopefully. So, the first big expense you're going to get at a theme park is your tickets, just trying to get in the gate. At Walt Disney, Disneyland, Walt Disney World, you're going to be paying $100 to $140 a day. That's a lot of money. So, how do you save that? Even something cheaper like Silver Dollar City, a normal day ticket is 70 to 75 bucks. So, here's the one thing to think about. How long are you going to be at that park and how many other potential visits? Because if you can add more visits, you can actually find packages to make your tickets cheaper. At Walt Disney World, the more days on your ticket you get, whether it's a 3, a 5, a 7, a 10, the more days you add on, the cheaper the ticket is. And eventually you get to a point where it's cheaper to go with an annual pass. We are pass holders at Six Flags. We are pass holders at Silver Dollar City. And there's going to be a point where a lot of those parks, it's going to be cheaper to go with an annual pass. For most Six Flags parks, the Silver Dollar City, Dollywood, Busch Gardens, and SeaWorld, you're cheaper getting a season pass than 2 or 3 days tickets. Once you've gone to the park 2 or 3 times, you've paid for that pass. Plus, you get all sorts of extra discounts and everything. Even my June trip coming up here where we're going to Pennsylvania, the gentleman we're going with, we're already set with annual passes for Kennywood and Hershey Park. Even though we're only going to be there for 2 or 3 days, it was cheaper to get the annual passes, and especially with the discounts that come with them, than it was to buy individual one-day tickets. So think about those passes. Several years back when we were treated to a trip to Walt Disney World, blessed by one of my viewers. My daughter and I took our 5-day tickets that he'd given us, and we actually went to the hotel resort counter there, and we upgraded them to an annual pass for about $200-300 more each, if I remember right, because we knew we were coming back in July, 9 months later. And because we had upgraded to the annual pass, it actually allowed us to do another trip in February really, really cheap because we didn't have to pay for tickets. So think about those passes. That's the biggest thing. If an annual pass isn't going to work for you, look at AAA or buy your tickets online. You're going to find them cheaper online, and AAA has some amazing deals. We got our all-inclusive tickets to Silver Dollar City, SeaWorld, and Busch Gardens, including the meal plans there for like 2/3 of the price of a one-day ticket. It beat the online prices they had. So definitely check your online sites. Beware of ticket resellers. Don't buy tickets on eBay. If you're in Orlando, you will see people selling cheap one-day Walt Disney World tickets. Beware. A lot of times they're pirated. They're expired. Stay away from stuff like that. But definitely look at the parks' online websites and AAA, and you can find some great deals that way. So, all ways to save money on tickets. I'm trying to watch my chat a little bit, and I need my glasses. So, is that a cat in the background? Yes, that is a real cat. So, and yes, 10 days you've already paid for an annual pass at Disney, depending upon how you buy those tickets. But yeah, definitely think about those annual passes. So, also, some parks do have a cheaper. If you buy a ticket for a day, they'll let you in the day before after 3 or 5 p.m. Dollywood does that sometimes. So, again, look for that as well. Food is another huge expense. Now, I don't know about you. I really don't like spending a lot of money on food, which is why I don't eat at all the fancy restaurants at Walt Disney World. So, there are a few things that you can do. My family, generally, we are in the habit of eating before we go in the park and saving dinner until after we leave. So we eat one meal in the park generally, and maybe a snack. So that is a great way to save money. Pack snacks with you. It's the rare park that doesn't allow you to bring in things like granola bars and trail mix and things like that to help you keep going. Bring in a water bottle, because that way you don't have to necessarily ask them for water. Now, water at parks is generally free. You don't have to pay for that. If you're like me and you're not a big water drinker and you do want other things like lemonade and Powerade and stuff, well, then you want to look at these kinds of things. The souvenir cups, especially if you're going to be there for a couple days, are great ways to save money. You'll pay about $15 depending upon the park for the cup, but then your refills, once you get 2 refills, you've paid for the cup. So you get a free souvenir at that point, and you get to keep refilling it for a whole lot less or free. In fact, Six Flags is part of the membership, the pass holder program. We actually get a free cup with free drinks the whole time we're there. Can I tell you, that saves some money. It adds up in a big hurry. So think about the souvenir cups. This is one thing that Disney actually is terrible about. The only place you can get souvenir cups at Disney World is at the Disney resorts, and they're only good at the resorts, not in the parks. So if you got to get the souvenir and spend that money, well, you're probably not going to get much out of it. But those are different ways to save money. Also, if you can eat smaller, buy one meal and then have 2 people split it. Especially like at Silver Dollar City. If you go to their little Mexican build-it-yourself and get the nachos, or the barbecue place, you can get one of the mixed meat plates. They're big meals, plenty for 2 people. So it is a great way to save money that way. And again, the more you can spend outside the park, the less you're spending in it, and parks are going to be expensive. I'm just kind of looking here. All the parks have a vacuum hose that goes in your pocket to suck out them dollar bills. Not if you're careful about it. So, let's see. So, again, eat before you arrive, one meal in the park, eat after you leave. The other thing to look for is some parks are now offering a meal plan where you can pay for your meals ahead of time and you can actually eat more in the park for less. Six Flags right now has an offering for a meal plan where you pay about the price of a meal and a half, and you get 2 full meals with drinks, plus a snack and some other stuff. Busch Gardens and SeaWorld have their meal plans, their dining plans that were amazing. It was like $30, $25, $30. So it was about the price for what you would pay for, again, about a meal and a half, $2. But you could eat every hour and a half, 2 hours, and just spread it out. It more than paid for itself, especially when we bought it at AAA and got it as part of the all-day ticket and got it for less than the normal ticket was. So look for those kinds of things. So all-you-can-eat plans can be worth it if you're going to eat. If you're not going to eat in the park, then you may not want to do that. And I'll be honest, I haven't really done the Six Flags one because the Six Flag park near us, typically, the food is, I'd rather eat a Jack in the Box. But those are some good ways to save on food. Let's see. Amazon Shopping have the food sent to your room. And if you like lemonade drinks, Yes, use the drink mix you can put in your water. That's another great hint, is if you want some flavor to your drinks, but you don't want to spend it, buy those little tiny mixes, and you just pour them in your water bottle, shake it up, you are good to go. The one thing about Amazon shopping and delivering, most of the time it's easier for you to just pick up food yourself at the grocery store. It's cheaper that way. At Disney, it used to be you could have it delivered to your resort and they would bring it to your room free. That doesn't happen anymore. They now charge you, I believe it's $6 a bag. So you're better off actually paying for an Uber to go to the grocery store and getting the groceries yourself than to have them delivered. So just something to think about. Pick up your groceries yourself if at all possible. Lodging. Here's a huge one, especially if you're thinking a Disney vacation. If you're going to stay at Disney property, and this is true at Universal as well, and some of the others, you're going to pay more to stay at that park's resort. Disney resorts are typically 3 to 10 times the normal price. And the 10 times, okay, you're really getting messed up if you pay that. But even for their little dinky all-star resort and Pop Century, you're still going to be paying 3 times what you would pay outside the park for the equivalent kind of room. It's basically a Super 8 on Disney property. Not much nicer. And then if you get to the other resorts, you can easily spend $400 to $600 a night to stay at the fancy resorts. You don't need to spend that, especially since they keep reducing the perks that go along with it. Come January, your bus ride from the airport isn't free anymore. And a lot of other hotels give those free anyways. Look off property. Look at other deals. Many resort hotels, many regular hotels around theme parks have free shuttles to the parks. So you don't have to pay for parking except maybe at the hotel. It's something to definitely look at. You're going to pay less to stay outside the park. And oftentimes get free shuttles and then meals included and sometimes better services at Disney. So think about staying off property. One thing that we really like, if we're going to be in an area for more than just a few days, more than 3 or 4, one of the things that we actually do now is we actually look at other places to stay. So let me show you this. This is actually where we stayed in Gatlinburg for almost 2 weeks. We paid less per night to stay here than we would have at a hotel. This is 3 bedrooms. It's got a game room up there, a gorgeous view. Look at renting a home. You would be surprised how much some of these vacation homes go for. You can pay $100 or less a night to stay at a house. Even expensive ones will run you about $150, $175 a night. But with multiple rooms and a full kitchen, and in this case, we've got a hot tub out back, and you actually can spend less per night than you would at a hotel. And you have the option to have other people stay with you and split the cost. We stayed at a condo in Orlando on our last vacation. And 4-bedroom place, we split it with 2 other families. For 2 weeks, we paid $450 to stay there. You can't beat that. So absolutely think about renting a home. Look, Branson has them available. Orlando has a bunch of them. If you're in a tourist area, there are very likely vacation homes available for rent. So consider that. It's a great way to save a lot of money, especially if you've got more than one family that you can share it with. It's cheap. It can get really cheap, and you can get some great places. So yeah, don't be stuck staying on property. That is a great place. Souvenirs. Okay, let's be honest. A lot of people spend a lot of money on souvenirs, and especially at Disney, because y'all know my addictions. The pins. This is just a few. I've got a bunch of pins. These are my traders. These are ones that I've got to trade. Look for souvenirs ahead of time outside of the parks, because they're going to be expensive in the parks. I buy my pins from reputable traders. Don't buy them on eBay or Amazon. They're going to be fakes. But I buy them from people who sell real pins and sell them for less. You can buy them ahead of time. You can take order them from Pinderella and other sites, and you can get a much cheaper souvenir that way. I'll come back to some of the questions. I see some of you posing here. You can also, if Disney is your thing, look around outside of Disney. You may not realize, but one of the best places to buy souvenirs at Disney, this is Walmart. And it has a huge Disney souvenir section, including pins and cups and shirts and all sorts of other stuff. You can get great Disney souvenirs at Walmart or Target or the other local stores in the area. If you got a huge theme park presence, you're going to be able to find your souvenirs there. But that's not the only place nearby. Disney in particular, if you're in Orlando, there is a place there called the Character Warehouse at the outlet malls. This is a look at one of those. This is actual in-park merchandise that didn't sell, and you can find it, like this pin set, cheap. So you can see a $15 set for pins, $5. I bought pins there for $2 each instead of the $9 and $10 in the park. They've got the toys, the hats, the Mickey ears. Be sure to check out the Character Warehouse if Disney World is your thing. I believe there may be one at Disneyland as well, but great way to save money on your souvenirs is to buy them out of the park. Sometimes, too, you can actually find discount souvenirs at the parks. Silver Dollar City has a big clearance discount section on your way out of the park. Worlds of Fun actually has a markdown store. I've seen that at a couple of the Six Flags parks as well. Go look at last year's souvenirs in the parks for sale cheap, because you can get them for much less. I typically pay for my magnets, I pay $2 or $3 because I don't mind getting last year's and paying less for it. So it's a great way to save some money that way. Look for the freebies. Parks, of course, have their brochures, their maps, birthday buttons, first time visit buttons. Look for the things like that because you can pick them up all over the place, and you can definitely save some money that way. And hey, they're great souvenirs to bring home with you. Pictures. Now, of course, I'm a big picture guy. I'm a former PhotoPass guy. I love my photos. Here's how to save money on your pictures at the park. Buy their version of a PhotoPass and buy it online ahead of time. I actually just got mine for Six Flags for this year for $28. Partially because I've got a discount. But it's like $40 for a whole year of every picture you can take. That's a great deal. Silver Dollar City, it's about the same price. Multiple visits? I mean, goodness, if you get 4 pictures done, you've paid as if you were going to get 4 pictures printed. So you keep adding pictures. And the more pictures you get, the better value it is. Use their picture pass system, whatever it is. Take advantage and then tell everybody, get all your pictures, bring all the papers and slips or however, and let's combine them all together at the end and everybody can get their pictures. I've split photo passes with 4 or 5 other families at times to vacation at the same time, and we then split the cost. $160 is a lot at Disney. But then once you break it down to 4 families, well, now all of a sudden you're only paying $40, and you can rack up those pictures quick. So look for things like that. And again, online often has the best deals on it. And then one last thing here. Oh, autograph books I want to mention. If you buy an autograph book at Disney, you're going to pay about $9 for that book. Just a little one. And you can, my daughter's is hiding right back there. You can kind of see it on the shelf. You can actually buy a spiral notebook. Just something very simple like this for about $1. And then have your kids decorate it. Have them make their own autograph books and put their pictures on it. They can draw on the pages. You can use scrapbook things. You can pay about $1, $2 and have a custom autograph book. And it's going to be more memorable than the one you get at Disney. So another way to save some money. Last one, big tip, and this is how a lot of people save money. And that is with these little things. That is right, the Disney Visa, MasterCard, airline credit cards. When I went to Disneyland a couple years ago, I had more than $200 in Disney dollars, essentially a $200+ Disney gift card, just from using this. Pay your bills on it, pay it off each month. The Disney card is a great one. I have one for American Express with Delta as well. that loads up flight miles, and my plane tickets a lot of times are cheap because I use that to pay for things. My new computer I just got, even though I had all the cash for it, I paid for it on my American Express card and then paid the American Express card off. So that way I got this wonderful little bonus of 2,000 flight miles I can apply to future trips. When my daughter and I took our trip to Walt Disney World a couple years ago, using the annual passes that we had gotten cheap, and we used those for discounts at the hotel, and then we flew almost free because of all my flight miles. My daughter and I spent 5 days at Disney staying on property using points from this and flight miles and our annual pass. Between the two of us for a week, we spent $800. It's just because of all the savings and everything else that we had saved up all over the place. And it adds up. So yes, you can do it cheap, but it takes planning. I know a friend of mine who's in the area. She also has one of these. And the flight miles. She goes to Disney once a year, basically free, because she pays all of her bills on her credit cards. All of them. And then on her payday, pays them all off every month. So she doesn't have a balance on the cards. But with all of her bills, her utilities, her groceries, and everything, she adds those points up, and she gets a great deal. By the way, Mr. Higginbottom, yes, I agree with you on Delta. So, now Michael mentions use your tripod, take your own photos. Tripods are not allowed in most parks anymore because they are a hazard. And plus, it doesn't work that well. I've done that. I've carried the tripod around. It's a pain in the kazoo to carry. Then you got the remote, and then you have other people tripping over your tripod and knocking it over. Trust me, for $40, just let somebody else take your picture. You're going to get a better picture anyways. You really are. So, let me go back a little bit. Josh B., I don't drive, but I still need a way to get there. And a friend of mine recommended one of the places with the Skyliner. Okay, so Josh B., assuming that you're going to Walt Disney World, since you mentioned the Skyliner, look at hotels right close by in the downtown Disney district. Most of them have a free shuttle from the airport. And if you get to those, they also have a free shuttle to the parks. So you can stay at downtown Disney right nearby, use the hotel shuttles to get in and out of the parks. Doesn't cost you anything. You can actually take the shuttle over to downtown Disney and then ride their Disney shuttle buses around. And they've got the shuttle to and from the airport. So that's how you get there. The other option, again, if you're staying at a hotel that has the shuttles to the parks, and most hotels near Disney do, even if they're off property, you may need to get a shuttle from the airport to the hotel. Uber's great for that. There's taxis, there's others. You're still going to pay a ton less to stay at a local hotel with a shuttle to the park than you would if you were going to stay on Disney property. I mean, when you consider, just using my own Pop Century experience, we paid the one time that we stayed there. This is a different trip than my daughter. But the rooms there ran almost $200 a night at Pop Century, which is the Skyliner Hotel, by the way. Again, it's a fancy Super 8 or Motel 6. Think of Days Inn. Okay, so you could stay at one of those off property for $80, and instead you're paying almost $200 to stay on property. Yeah, the free shuttle was nice. You could get that same thing with the hotel or pay $30 for a one-time deal. Whoopee! And then you get the free rides to the resort and everything else. It's going to cost you less. And at this point, the Disney resorts really aren't offering anything that those parks or that the hotels right nearby don't have as well. So, something to think about. Let me see here. Plan to not have a specific photo service. I'll buy the pictures you want at the end. Okay, and again, Josh, if you're thinking Disney and the parks, don't do that. If you wait till the end and buy your pictures, you are going to spend more. If you want to buy individual pictures, you're going to spend $15 a picture or more, depending upon the park. Well, once you get 3 pictures, all of a sudden you've paid for that whole photo deal, and a lot of times you can actually get those deals for less than that if you buy it ahead of time online. Look online and invest ahead, and you will save money, because if you wait till the end, they know they got you. and they're going to charge you more at the end than if you bought it early. So think about that. And Michael Hirschheimer, you're not going to be allowed to take the tripods into Disney. They don't allow anything that extends anymore. No selfie sticks, no tripods, no monopods, stuff like that. It's now banned. Has been. So just be aware of that. So Disney Spring hotels can be really reasonable. Yep, absolutely. So those are all great ways to save money for you. I don't want to run too long. I want to keep it short as a regular episode, but think about all those. If you've got other ideas, please don't hesitate to share them below or in the comments or on the stream chat. There's a lot of other great ideas to save money. Again, shop early, shop online. Those are going to be your big things to save money. Don't wait till the end or while you're there. You're going to spend more. Buy it early and you're going to save a whole lot more money that way. So thanks so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons. Those passes and stuff I talked about, my financial supporters on YouTube and Patreon really help make a lot of that possible. So, and I couldn't do it without them, and they get perks. So if you want to know more about that, be sure to check the description below as well. Thank you so incredibly much for watching, and have an awesome weekend. God bless. And... thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to know about contact information, fan pages, merchandise, and more, please be sure to check the description below. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to know when I have new ones, well, make sure you hit that subscribe button right up there. And if you want to see another one of my videos, well, I've got a great one for you right here. And a huge thank you to these wonderful people here who support me on Patreon and with YouTube memberships. They get behind the scenes information, special perks, and more. If you'd like to know more about that, well, make sure you check that button right there. Thank you so much.